Hallo und herzlich willkommen auf meinem Kanal zu einer weiteren Folge Vampyr. Ja, es ist ein paar Tage her, dass ich da zuletzt zum Spielen kam. Ich hoffe, ich habe die Steuerung nicht direkt wieder verlernt. Nanu, was hakt denn hier so? Ach, das ist diese Lampe da unten. Ratten und Unterschlüpfe. Na, da wollen wir direkt mal die Folge mit einem ekelhaften Bissen beginnen. Denn dafür gibt es einen Erfolg. Nanu, ich dachte eigentlich, dass ich diese da bereits in der letzten Folge erledigt habe, aber anscheinend habe ich mich geirrt. Die Spur folgt auf jeden Fall hier über diese kleine Brücke und schauen wir einfach mal, was es für uns zu tun gibt.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
As one we shall overcome this. We still started tonight already and it did not quench my thirst.
Na, passiert heute schon noch was? Oder? Ja.
Oh dear God, not again. William, please stop.
So, Gameplay.
This place reeks of bloodshed.
You're my last and dearest friend. William, my arm. I can't feel it.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
William Bishop. Ah ja, von dem habe ich doch schon mal irgendwo was gehört. Ich weiß jetzt nur nicht mehr wo. Verteidigung wird überbewertet. Immer feste drauf. Immer feste drauf und zuckt nicht mehr. Vorausgesetzt, wir haben noch genug Ausdauer. Wenn die Ausdauer natürlich weg ist, ist das alles nicht so wirklich praktisch. Abgenutzter Knüppel.
William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by Scal?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders. Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat, and we can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed this drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Was für ein Blutbad. Freunde, ich sag euch, also das ist extrem. Können wir leider nicht. Okay. Wie war die Heilung nochmal gewesen? Gameplay. Na, ich finde schon wieder raus. Gut, dass der jetzt nicht mit einem Ruder hier angekommen ist und wir rudern müssen.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back. But I will tell you, she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it. I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
And for that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Ja.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. I'm coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
Ja, so schnell kommt man zu einem neuen Job. Und das, obwohl man eigentlich gar keinen mehr braucht. Auf zum Krankenhaus. Aktualisierung der Mission. Ich habe Dr. Swanseas Hilfe angenommen und werde im Pembroke Hospital arbeiten. Ich hatte keine Wahl. Der Mann weiß von meinem Zustand und dass ich ein Vampir bin. Ich kann es nicht glauben. Ich weiß nichts über dieses abgeschiedene Krankenhaus. Jeder hier wird mich für das halten, was ich nicht länger bin. Nämlich für Jonathan E. Reed, den berühmten Arzt. Ich muss sie alle belügen. Die Patienten, die Belegschaft. Dies ist jetzt mein neues Zuhause, mein Versteck von jenen, die hinter mir her sind. Mein Versteck vor der Außenwelt, bis ich verstehe, was mit mir geschehen ist. Bevor wir da hochgehen, laufen wir hier erstmal um. Aha. Okay, da scheinen wir noch nicht zu dürfen.
Each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Ah, da scheint einer.
Bastard, give me a good poke.
Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Die Blutqualität deutet an, wie viele EP du von einem bestimmten Bürger erhältst. Je höher die Blutqualität ist, desto mehr EP erhältst du. Also einen Dr. Phil, 30 Jahre und schon hat man einen perfekten Jahrgang. Um das Blut deiner Beute auszusaugen, musst du sie zunächst in den Bann ziehen, um sie so an deiner Stelle zu führen, die andere Bürger nicht sehen können. Deine Bannstufe muss genauso hoch sein wie oder höher als der Widerstand des Bürgers sein. Drücke linke Taste, um Clay in deinen Bann zu ziehen. Bing! Da ist es.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
Und jetzt drücke A und wähle, ob du Clay entweder aussaugen oder loslassen möchtest. Wenn du ihn aussuchst, wird er dir eine große Menge EP gewähren. Jedoch hat das Konsequenzen. Sei dir dessen bewusst. Je mehr du über Bürger weißt und mehr Hinweise über sie findest, desto mehr EP geben sie.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Ach, was sind wir doch für ein netter Vampir.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
Ja, das wissen wir. Wir müssen allerdings immer ein bisschen auf unser Blut achten. Aber für mich ist ein Glas immer halb voll und nicht halb leer.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Oh, thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Das ging ja fix.
I would like to ask a few questions first. What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
Okay, wo der Raum ist, weiß ich ja.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Das ist auf jeden Fall gut. Was hat er denn Schönes?
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Aha. Finde er sein Büro. Der Doktor hieß hier. Sean Hampton.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Damn. The pain.
I wonder what your last
There again.
sir.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Wet Boot Boys, man könnte das sagen. Wet Booty Boys.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Ach, sieh mal an, Clay Cox, den haben wir doch da unten gerade getroffen.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Ja, was machen Sie beruflich? Selten komische Frage, man sieht es ja. Der Mann ist Priester. Fragen wir trotzdem.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Ah, okay.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Okay. Ist auf jeden Fall auf
Goodbye,
dem Weg
Mr.
der
Hampton.
Besserung, der
We'll
Mr.
talk
Hampton.
again later.
Und jetzt würde ich sagen, gucken wir mal nach unserem Raum, nicht? Wer magst du wohl sein?
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
So many deaths. And what of my own?
Der lädt ganz schön lange.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
A vampire. Ah, okay.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Okay.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Ach ja. Was sagen die Details? Ja, es gibt noch persönliche Fragen.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay, Hinweise benötigt. Ah, okay, die Frau werden wir definitiv.
Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Eine frohe Natur.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Okay, ja, die Ungleichheit zwischen einfachem Fußvolk und den Offizieren, ja, kenne ich.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Ja, du würdest einen Nosferatu abgeben, Jung. Okay, den haben wir wohl erstmal durch.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Tell me, Thelma, why do you feel so attached to Mr. Elwood? Why him?
I'm not sure, Doctor. I think we have a bond of some sort. We've both suffered so much. He's the only mortal I find interesting.
Do you plan to make him a vampire too?
Of course not. How could I inflict my curse on anybody else? I'm not that cruel, Doctor.
Would you say you and Mr. Elwood are romantically involved?
No. No, Thomas is a delicate soul. Even though he disguises it. But I am not the woman he needs. No, for I am a vampire, Doctor.
Okay, da sind wir schon mal ein ganzes Stück weitergekommen.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
So, jetzt reicht es aber erstmal mit dem ganzen Geschwafel. Jetzt suchen wir uns erstmal unseren Raum auf. Denn ich sehe es wieder, wir haben schon 35 Minuten durch. Und mittlerweile sollten wir doch langsam mal Pause machen. Dr. Swansea. Doktor abgeschlossen. Ich bin doch hier in der ersten Etage, oder nicht? Ne, das ist definitiv nicht mein Zimmer, da ist kein Namensschild dran. Operationssaal? Da steht doch was. Dr. Tibbets, Dr. Strickland and Dr. Ackroyd. Dr. Weed.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Noch nicht. Wenn ich das ändern kann, wirst du das. Ja, meine lieben Freunde, ich hoffe, es hat euch genauso gut gefallen wie mir und ich hoffe, dass ihr auch beim nächsten Mal wieder dabei seid, wenn wir eine weitere Runde hier in der Welt von Vampyr drehen. Wenn euch die Folge gefallen hat, vergesst ein Like nicht. Falls noch nicht geschehen, lasst ein Abo da, würde mich mächtig unterstützen und auch freuen. Ja, und ansonsten haltet die Ohren steif, einen schönen Abend noch und macht es gut. Ciao, ciao.